Hello and welcome to Darcey School Kindergarten Informational Session. I'm sorry that this has to be remote, but due to the COVID closures, it will be a remote session. Again, welcome. You are the parents of the class of 2033. I know that that is a date that it's very hard to wrap your head around. It seems so far off, but trust me, it will be here before you know it. But again, today we are here to talk a little bit about kindergarten and what you can expect. I'd like to start first by saying this is an informational session. It's really about our Darcey programs, our curriculum, our mission, as well as some of our people and how your child would spend his or her day in a kindergarten classroom here at Darcey School. My name is Ann Donnery, and I am the current principal of Darcey School. And it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you the new Darcey principal. Her name is Mrs. Kim Desert, and she will be joining us in July 1st. I'm looking forward to having a nice transition time with her and sharing all the wonderful and unique qualities of Darcey School. I have to say, I love her name, Mrs. Kim Desert, and I know that the children will get a thrill out of that as well. I know that over the summer that both Mrs. Desert and the administrative team at Central Office will be having a time where you could meet the new principal. I'd like to start by sharing our school mission statement, which is very, very important to us. Many years ago, we worked together as a team to develop this, and it really reflects our mission as an early childhood team to provide the highest quality education for your child. We're dedicated to the development of young children in a secure and nurturing environment that promotes curiosity, a love of learning, and the joy of discovery. Our staff works collaboratively with families in the community to provide a creative and flexible education program. We recognize the strengths of each individual, and we encourage self-confidence and try to establish a strong foundation for lifelong learning. We believe in providing enriched educational experiences which enable children to become independent thinkers, problem solvers, who can work and play well with others, and have this respect for the world in which they live. So this is a mission statement that we live by, and we really review it frequently throughout the year to remind ourselves of the important work we do. Our core beliefs are that it has to be a secure and nurturing environment, that they all have strengths, that students learn best by engaging in a variety of rich and rigorous experiences, which will promote deeper thinking and real-world application. We have a nice balance of teacher-directed and student-initiated learning opportunities, and the strong classroom communities are built through collaboration and participation of obviously students as well as parents and the entire school community. As I had said earlier, we recognize that young children learn best through discovery, exploration, active learning, including structured and unstructured play. The kindergarten environment supports a natural approach to learning where children are encouraged to ask questions, think, choose, analyze, interact, problem solve, and take risks. Our curriculum is really developed to include a balance of opportunities for choice and student-initiated activities, small group and individualized instruction. We provide a workshop instruction, which again emphasizes an individualized approach with one-on-one conferencing with the teacher, an in-depth study of concepts, a curriculum that is personally relevant to children, as well as the integration of art, music, physical education, and library and media. We are committed to the development of the whole child, which includes the social emotional development and motor development through outdoor activity, physical activity, and movement. Our district goals, which are the Cheshire Public School goals, really encompass complex thinking and social emotional learning. Through complex thinking, we want every student to demonstrate complex skills in reasoning, inquiry, problem solving, and the exploration of ideas. In the area of social emotional learning, we want students to demonstrate self-awareness, self-regulation, cultural awareness, and empathy. Moving into sort of some of the more individualized pieces of Darcey, one is the very important Darcey PTA, who I know you're going to be hearing from throughout the summer. Ashley Palumbo is a co-president with Allison Lardner. Ashley is a mother of a preschool, and Allison is a mom of a kindergartner and a preschooler. Cheryl Room, again, a kindergartner and a preschooler. And Amy is a past kindergarten parent and a current preschool parent. So please reach out to them if you'd like to be on the PTA or become involved with the PTA. I thought it would be important to take you on a little tour of the day in the life of a kindergartner. But first, it's important that you meet our kindergarten teaching team. Mrs. Pincus and Mrs. Morrisroe are experienced kindergarten teachers. Mrs. Morrisroe has been here with us since full day kindergarten came into Cheshire, and Mrs. Pincus joined us last year after a little time off to raise her family. Mrs. Caruso and Miss Cianciola are also part of our wonderful kindergarten teaching team, both experienced teachers and have been here at Darcey for 3 years. The first part of a Darcey kindergarten day is the all-important morning meeting. This is based after the responsive classroom philosophy, where it's a time for building classroom community by getting to know each other, addressing academic skills in a fun and integrated way. It sets the tone for the day. The morning meeting has 4 components: a greeting, where every child will hear his or her name and be greeted by other classmates; a share, children are sharing things that are important to them, and it also gives all the other children an opportunity to learn about their peers and their teachers. There's a fun activity because we know that children learn best when they're engaged and having fun, as well as a morning message that really reflects the day's goals and what will be happening throughout the day for the children. Reader's Workshop is a very important part of our day at Darcey School, and this is when children interact with books and literature in different ways. There's different components to our Reader's Workshop. In the beginning of the year, children are developing letter ID and letter sound fluency skills, as well as phonological awareness skills. As the year progresses, children become independent readers, and they partake in independent reading time where they receive one-to-one conferencing from their teacher to work on specific goals for their own reading. Some of the standards for kindergarten are really reading emergent reader texts with purpose and understanding, which I love this picture of the little girl in the rocking chair, because she certainly is reading for purpose and understanding, and she is engaged. The children will also engage in group reading activities, and you can see at the top would be a read aloud, where they would respond to questions for comprehension, and on the bottom, children are it's called book shopping, where they're trying to select just right texts for their independent reading level. Part of a Reader's Workshop is also, as I said, working on phonemic awareness and letter ID and letter sound skills. This is tailored to a child's individual needs to help them grow. We know that children's names are all very important to them and to the others, and so there's a lot of letter work with names. Math Workshop is similar, and it's very hands-on, explorative, where they're problem solving and manipulating materials to gain understanding. Some of the standards in kindergarten include sorting objects by attributes, which we can see children sorting buttons by different attributes, one-to-one correspondence, recognizing shapes and patterns, as well as counting. I have included some of the math standards so you can see that what are some of the things that we work on throughout the year. And it's really about gaining number sense as much as it is as by gaining concepts. So they need to count and write numbers, count to tell the number of objects. Add and subtract comes towards the end of the kindergarten year, but that would be within 5. They learn about measuring and using attributes such as length, weight, classify and sort objects, as well as identify and describe shapes. And here are some children during a math workshop performing some of those tasks and exploration. Writer's Workshop is another very important part of our day, and Writer's Workshop means that every child has a story to tell. And some of the standards for that is I can tell my story using illustrations, I can tell my story using words, or I can tell my story using a combination of both. And I have included the evolution of a child's writing, and it's the natural developmental progression. So I really think it's important to note that in the beginning stages, children begin by scribbling and then imitating letters, and then groups of letters, and then they begin to recognize that a letter symbolizes a sound, and they can connect a sound to a word and to an object, and they can start writing the sounds they hear. Again, the workshop is an individualized approach. They will have a mini lesson, and then they will have individual practice with that. We also include science, health, and social studies in our kindergarten classroom. You can see that some of the social studies is the top picture is really all about them, which we know kindergartners are very egocentric and want to learn about themselves. The science piece is really exploration and of concepts. A very important part of the day, and you can ask any kindergartner what their favorite part of the day is, and it is choice time, when they get an opportunity to play in very purposeful play and very much planned play by the teacher, but it's also an opportunity for socialization and choice, exploration, problem solving. And so here are just a few of the ideas that children have for their choice or playtime. Every day in kindergarten, children get an opportunity to go outside, and we feel that outdoor and play is vitally important to the development of young children in a variety of ways. We go outside every day at Darcey, rain or snow, sleet, sort of like the postman. You will be asked to make sure you send appropriate winter clothing for your children because it is important that they get outside every day to play. Lunch is provided at school, or children are allowed to bring their own lunch. And you will receive more on the lunch menus as we get closer to the start of school. We have 3 lunch waves, and children have a half an hour for lunch. And then typically they go outside for their outdoor play. We do ask that students bring a snack to school with them. We know that their stomachs are small and that they require frequent breaks for food. Again, I want to emphasize that it is a snack, not a meal. So it helps them to practice independence, develop fine motor, as well as engage in conversation. And depending on your child's lunch wave, either they will have their snack in the morning prior to lunch if it's a later lunch, or they will have it in the afternoon if they were on the earlier lunch wave. Many families ask if we do naps at Darcey. There are no naps in kindergarten, although in the beginning of the school year, we do have what's called a quiet time, where students relax their bodies and minds after their outdoor play. They often listen to soothing music and enjoy a read aloud. This, I will say, starts to fade out towards November, December, when children developmentally don't need so much rest time. But they do not take naps, therefore you do not need to send any nap time clothing. Our specials in kindergarten run on a 4-day rotation. So every 4th day they have a special. We have phys ed, art, music, and library. A few housekeeping items. You will need to make sure that you communicate with transportation if you are going to be using what's called a bus waiver form. My understanding is they are not approving waivers due to the COVID and CDC guidelines to take to daycares and pick up from daycare. So you will definitely want to check with transportation if you are hoping to have your child transported to or from Darcey to a daycare center. We do have before and after school care at Darcey. It's provided by the YMCA. Again, if that's something that you're interested in enrolling in, I would suggest doing it sooner rather than later, as it does fill up quickly. Many parents ask about required school supplies, and we ask that you do not send any school supplies with your child. We provide everything your child needs so that there are no school supplies needed. The teacher will talk to you towards the beginning, at the end of August, and share with you what you will need to bring to school. For example, a change of clothing, a backpack, and things like that. At the beginning of the school year, when we have parent-child orientation, you will receive the parent handbook. It is also available on our website. That will give you a great deal of information that will help you as you enter kindergarten. And please, if you have not included a welcome board picture, they're due now. Our secretary would like to put them on our welcome board, and we would like every child represented there. If you have not set up your PowerSchool account, you please do so. You may call the secretary and she can help you with this. If you've never taken it on before, you might need a little help. There's also PowerSchool information in your registration packet. If you click on this link when this is posted, you'll be able to find it as well. PowerSchool will give you lots of information as we move forward, and it's how the school communicates with you and how the teachers communicate with you, as well as report cards and things like that. Many families ask, is my child ready for kindergarten? And so we pose the following question to kindergarten teachers. What are the most important readiness skills a child should possess coming into kindergarten? And their answers were, a child should be excited about coming to school and eager to learn. They should be curious about the world around them and full of imagination. They should be aware of other people's feelings, be able to share, take turns, and play. It would be wonderful if they could sit in a group and pay attention for 10 to 15 minutes, and that really is max developmentally. We would like children to be able to understand and participate in conversations with the good command of language the family speaks at home. Be able to express their feelings and needs in words. Be able to follow routines and simple directions. And be able and willing to listen to other adults, whether it's the teacher, an instructional assistant, or the bus driver. And finally, to be able to be a good community member, be able to take care of their things and materials in the classroom responsibly. Please note, it does not say a child has to be able to read or write. I think many families think that that's what we're looking for, and although it's helpful that they can recognize their name in a group of names and know some of the letters of the alphabet, we're really looking at some of these social, emotional, and school readiness skills. Important dates. We will be mailing teacher welcome letters on August 15th, 2020. This really is when you find out who your child's teacher will be, and it will have a lot of very important information, including which session you're going to attend at our orientation. A kindergarten orientation for students and parents will be on August 25th, 2 sessions, 9 to 10 and 10:15 to 11:15. And our first day of full school for kindergartners is August 27th. That includes transportation. So now your next steps to prepare your child for kindergarten. Please make sure you complete all your registration paperwork. Make sure you enroll in PowerSchool. If the playground is open in July, based on the CDC guidelines, I would encourage you to come to our playground and visit. This helps the child become familiar with Darcey. We must have your medical forms by August 14th. Please begin to establish great bedtime routines. And of course, watch the mail for that very important welcome letter from your child's teacher around the 15th of August. So, it's our job to be ready for your kindergartner, and I promise you the Darcey team will be ready. So over the summer, spend time with your children enjoying good books, talking about their hopes and fears about the beginning of school, and reassuring them that they will do great work in kindergarten. We can continue our tradition of excellence only with your help and participation. Please become a partner with your school community in working towards educational excellence. And of course, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me at adonnery@cheshire.k12.ct.us, and I will make sure that your questions are answered in a timely fashion. Thank you for visiting today, and of course, reach out to me. Please reach out to Mrs. Dessert, excuse me, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful year in kindergarten. Thank you.